Have you ever walked away from a 20-minute coffee date feeling as though you've just run a marathon? You weren't physically active yet, your limbs feel heavy, your mind is foggy, and your spirit feels dimmed. This isn't just ordinary fatigue. It is a subtle, invisible theft. You have just encountered what psychologists call an energy vampire. In the economy of the soul, energy is our most precious currency. We need it to create, to love, and to grow. But while some people amplify our light, others survive by consuming it. They don't use fangs. They use complaints, drama, and endless demands for validation. They leave you empty, not because they are evil, but because they are holes that can never be filled. Let me tell you the story of Maya. Maya was a woman with a luminous heart. She was a natural healer, the person everyone called when their life was falling apart. But Maya was perpetually exhausted. She had dark circles under her eyes and a constant tightness in her shoulders. She felt like a battery that was being drained faster than it could charge. One day, Maya went to see an old mentor who lived in a lighthouse by the sea. She said, "I feel like I'm fading. I want to help people, but I have nothing left for myself." The old man led her to the top of the lighthouse. He pointed to the massive rotating lens. "Maya," he said, "the job of this light is to guide ships away from the rocks. It is powerful, it is bright, and it saves lives. But tell me, does the lighthouse jump into the water to swim out to every ship?" Maya shook her head. "No, it stays on the cliff." "Exactly," the mentor whispered. "If the lighthouse left its foundation to chase every boat, it would crash into the waves and go dark. Then no one would be guided. You are trying to be a rescue boat for people who refuse to stop rowing toward the rocks. You are letting them climb into your lighthouse and blow out your flame to keep themselves warm." This was Maya's epiphany. She realized that her empathy had become her vulnerability. She was suffering from compassion fatigue because she didn't know how to identify the vampires, who were taking her light without ever intending to shine on their own. To protect your soul, you must first learn to identify the patterns. Energy vampires usually come in 3 masks. First, there is the eternal victim, someone for whom the world is always unfair, and who refuses every solution you offer because they prefer the attention their problem brings. Second, there is the drama magnet, someone who lives in a whirlwind of chaos and demands that you join the storm. And third, there is the passive aggressor, someone who drains you through subtle insults and guilt-tripping hidden behind a smile. When you encounter these people, your first instinct is to save them. But here is the Zen truth. You cannot fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. Your energy is a sacred resource, and you have a moral obligation to guard it. To stop the drain, you must apply the discipline of the gray rock. This is a psychological technique, where you become as uninteresting as a gray rock to the vampire. You don't argue. You don't offer deep emotional reactions. You offer silence and neutral responses. When they try to pull you into their drama, you simply say, "I see," or "that sounds difficult." By refusing to provide the emotional food they crave, they will eventually move on to find a more reactive source. This requires the art of letting go. You must let go of the idea that you are responsible for everyone's happiness. Stoicism teaches us that we are only responsible for our own internal state. If someone chooses to live in a state of perpetual crisis, that is their journey, not yours. You can offer a map, but you cannot walk the path for them. Maya began to practice this when her victim friend called to complain for the 100th time about the same issue. Maya didn't spend 2 hours on the phone. She said, "I can listen for 10 minutes, but then I have to go." When the drama magnet colleague tried to pull her into office gossip, Maya simply smiled and returned to her work. At first she felt guilty. The vampires called her cold and selfish. But as the days passed, something miraculous happened. Her energy began to return. Her eyes grew bright again. Her shoulders relaxed. Because she stopped leaking energy into the bottomless pits of others, she finally had enough power to light her own path. She realized that by setting boundaries, she wasn't being mean. She was being authentic. She was honoring the truth that her energy is finite. She learned that true healing doesn't mean carrying someone else's burden. It means being a steady light that shows them they have the strength to carry their own. Protecting your energy is the ultimate act of self-mastery. It is about recognizing that your peace is non-negotiable. You are the gatekeeper of your own soul. Do not let people who do nothing but complain about the rain ruin your sunshine. Stand on your cliff. Keep your flame burning. And remember, a lighthouse that keeps its light is 1,000 times more useful than one that burns out trying to be everything to everyone.